principle behind this basically is the geometrical reconfiguring of the fundamental components of energy, the components called the kinetic and the potential. This reconfiguration resulting in the separation of cause and effect, not only in time but also in space. The result hereof is the circumvention of the Newtonian laws of action and reaction. This allows for the production of heretofore unexplainable phenomena. Hence, the traveling wave, or the Tesla magnifying transmitter, as well as the Tesla geodynamic oscillator, is capable of transmitting vibrations by the virtue of the fact that it is self-referencing, thereby not requiring any ground, that is, no solid backing from which to push against. This may be loosely related to the old saying, "Give me a fulcrum and I'll move the earth." Tesla found this fulcrum and moved the earth literally and mechanically in New York, producing a localized earthquake, and electrically producing a standing lightning discharge at Colorado Springs, and possibly conjugate discharges elsewhere on the planet. The Tesla transponder or Tesla magnifying transmitter can be divided into 5 distinct components. 1 is the earth. 2 is the reflecting capacitance, or the ball that exists on top of the coil. 3 may be called the energy transformer, 4 the coupling transformer, and 5 the resonant coil. A certain percentage of this energy in the standing wave is refracted through the earth transformer reflection point and into the earth. This refracted energy establishes another standing wave in the earth. Hence, a pair of standing waves are produced which communicate energy through refraction. The oscillating resonant coil, or the Tesla coil, tuned to an earth harmonic, establishes a virtual ground at one terminal of the coupling transformer, thus rendering the earth terminal active from the standpoint relative to the electric conditions surrounding the apparatus. The coil terminal, designated as the reflecting capacitance, appears active, that is, appears active, and the earth terminal appears to be neutral, whereas from the earth's standpoint, the earth terminal is active. Thus the reason for the popular notion that the reflected capacitance, or the ball on the top, is the output of the apparatus. In light of the virtual grounding theory, this is obviously not correct. Basically, it can be seen that the Tesla magnifying transmitter involves 3 distinct standing waves in its operation, each coupled to the other through 2 points of refraction. Each of these standing waves represents a distinct dimensional aspect. We have the Earth wave, which is a space-dimensional aspect. We have this standing wave of energy bouncing between the transformers, which is a time-dimensional aspect. And then we have the resonant coils wave, which is extra-dimensional, which is the electrical wave that's received very little attention. So we were discussing the conventional dimensions of electromagnetic energy, mass times velocity squared. But around the Tesla magnifying transmitter, we find the energy has different dimensions of length cubed divided by time squared. We find this mentioned in some of Wilhelm Reich's later works, and we even find in Maxwell's works that there was a type of energy he considered to be mass-free and of the dimensions of length cubed divided by time squared. So what we're dealing with here is the Tesla transformer not only generates monopolar types of electricity, not only does it generate its own ground, but it produces an organic, lifelike form of electricity. This dematerialized energy is the spatial analog of reactive or wattless energy that's encountered in alternating current systems. Plasma discharges resulting from dielectric saturation, or what's known as dielectric breakdown, of the dielectric medium that surrounds the TMT no longer can be related to the laws of thermodynamics, but are related to the laws of organic growth, such as the spontaneous production of energy and golden ratio proportioning. It is of particular interest to note that these phenomena serve as experimental verification of the cosmic superimposition theory put forward by Dr. Wilhelm Reich. So the Earth is the spatial wave, the coupling being an alternating current type of situation is a time wave, and then the resonant actions and virtual grounding of the extra coil or Tesla coil represent the outside of the dimensions of space or time, or the extra-dimensional. Or what we will find later, as we research this stuff a little further, what we might call a counter-spatial electrical field. The analogous relations in musical representation of these would be the space-dimensional is what's called harmony, where a number of tones combine to produce chords which in themselves are spatial phenomena or geometries that appear in space. The time dimensional, of course, would be the rhythm of the musical situation, and the melody would be the extra dimension, in that melody involves the process of change, and there isn't a specific thing that you can grasp to define it as a physical dimension. In order for this triplet resonant or sextic energy transient, in other words, 6 distinct forms of electric energy, to operate in consonant resonance, conjugate relations must be made to be existing between all 6 of these energies. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to go to the higher frequencies and see what we can pick up that way. We'll use the high frequency end of the receiver so that the coils inside operate as Tesla coils. Okay, here we're not really picking up quite as much now on this band, which can be expected. Okay, we're going up now. We're getting a lot of overloading from the local transmitters. There's WWV. Okay, if we look at our arrangement here, all we have, let's put the headphones down close to the ground so they're grounded out, so no one can say that it's an antenna. I think that's probably loud enough to hear. We can see we have one very short wire to ground, we're sitting on the ground, and we're receiving out of it. Totally impossible by conventional electromagnetic theory. Yet, you can hear it with your own ears. Let's see what else we can pick up.
You're not a conventional magneto-electrician, Eric.
So this form of electricity is called magneto-dielectricity, rather than the conventional electromagnetism. We're going to go up to the broadcast band. The carrier is a lot easier to hear.
Right.
And you can see you can still pick up many things throughout the band. This being one of the local transmitters. Being one of the local transmitters. Various long-distance shortwave broadcasting. Coast Guard transmitter. Here we have a parasitic oscillation. One of the transmitters around here is out of tune and oscillating on its own off frequency. So completing this, we're going to migrate a little further down to the actual primary ground connection that Marconi used and get a picture of the building.
Okay, here we are working our way towards the beach. Fine way to spend an afternoon in California. And there it is, the Marconi Wireless Building. Once one of the most happening places on the planet, now derelict and stuffed with junk.
Now what we're going to do next is we're going to go to the higher frequencies and see what we can pick up that way. We'll use the high frequency end of the receiver so that the coils inside operate as Tesla coils.
Get away from the buildings, the television set. You won't see much of this on TV.
No, it's definitely not violent enough.
No.